Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. If you have placer gold you want to sell, I'm here to tell you where the best and worst places are that buy gold. I will also be telling you the pros and cons of each place because everyone's circumstances are different and sometimes it's not all about getting the most money for your gold. Now, before I get to the list, you should know that gold purity is called carats. So 100% pure gold is listed as 24 carats. However, placer gold is never pure gold. It always has something mixed in it. So most placer gold is about 18 carats or 75% pure gold and 25% non-gold. Now you can get higher carat gold in some areas, but you can also get lower carat as well. But in my experience, most placer gold averages about 18 carats. So for all the info about the gold buyers I'm going to be telling you about today will be based on you trying to sell 18 karat placer gold. Also, for the sake of this video and to make things easy, I will be using a gold spot of $100 per gram. Now, all these places will and do pay out based on final weight. So if you send gold that still has black sands or rocks or other stuff in it, they will lower the quoted price to one that reflects the actual weight of the placer gold. Now let's just start from the bottom up with the worst place you can sell your placer gold to, and that's a pawn shop. They only average about a 50% payout, and that is usually based on carat. So if gold spot is $100 per gram and you have 1 gram of 18 karat placer gold, a pawn shop would only pay you $37.50 or 50% of $75. The pros of selling to a pawn shop is there's one really close to you. They don't have a minimum, you don't have to ship anything, and in most cases they pay cash. They will pay in a check if it's a larger amount. The cons are they have the lowest payout of all the options I'm going to be telling you about today. The next place you can sell your placer gold to is a gold buyer. And I'm talking about those places that advertise they buy gold and will send you a free envelope so you can mail it to them. This is different than those stores you see all over town that say we buy gold. Those are essentially pawn shops who only buy gold. For the online stores, the best one I could find is redollar.com, which pays 90% of carat. So they would pay you $67.50 for 1 gram of 18 karat placer gold with a spot price of $100 per gram. The pros is free shipping, and they will even return your gold for free if you decide you don't like the offer. They also have a low minimum of 1 gram. The cons are low payouts based on carats, and you have to send them the gold to get an actual offer. And if you decline, you have to wait for the gold to be sent back to you. Next up is gold refineries, and the best I could find is midwesternrefineries.com, which pays 95% of carat, so $71.25 for a gram of 18 karat gold with a spot price of $100 per gram. The pros, a much better payout than pawn shops or gold buyers with no minimum to sell. The cons, you have to ship the gold to them, so there is that cost. They also base payout on carat, so lower carat gold means less money. The huge con, though, is in most cases a refinery will melt down your gold before even making you an offer. So if you decline that offer, you're just going to get a slab of gold back that is going to be a lot harder to sell. Also, in most cases, a refinery will charge you to send that gold slab back to you. For the next one on the list, we're going to go to eBay. The pros, you set your own price, so you know exactly what it's going to sell for, and you can even try to sell it for more than spot price. The cons, it's eBay, which means you really have to be wary of scammers, and they have a lot of them on eBay. You also have to pay about 14% in fees and pay for shipping. They also only pay by direct deposit. And now let's get to what, in my opinion, is the best place you can sell placer gold to, and that's Paydirt vendors. I could only find 8 Paydirt sellers who also buy placer gold, but there might be more. For today, though, let's just go through the ones I found, and they are just listed in alphabetical order. All of these buyers pay based on weight, not carat. So if they say they pay 80%, you would get $80 for 1 gram of gold with a $100 spot price. So let's just go right through them in alphabetical order. CulverProspecting.com has a 1 gram minimum, and he pays 80% and up. You have to send him your gold and he will classify it down and send an offer based on the different sizes of gold you have. Flash in the pan Paydirt.com has a 7-gram minimum and he has an 80% baseline. But again, it goes up the larger your gold is. So the bigger the gold you have, the higher the percentage you will get. You also have to send him your gold and he will classify it and send an offer based on the different sizes of gold you have. Goldfeverprospecting.com has a 10-gram minimum and he pays 80% of spot price, but he does not say he will pay more for chunkier gold. You have to email him pics and he will send you an offer. GoldNuggetSales.com has no minimum and pays 80% of spot price and pays more for larger gold. You can send in a pic of your gold on a scale and he will send you an offer. ClashGold.com has a 10-gram minimum and he does not advertise a base or minimum percentage he pays. However, I did secretly get a quote on 12 grams and was offered 72% of spot price. You can get an offer without sending them the gold by just sending in a picture of the gold on a scale. MillerProspecting.com, yes, yours truly, and I do buy gold and I have no minimum. And I pay 85% of spot price. Just send a picture of your gold on a scale and I will send you a quote. However, I am a small buyer and usually only buy small amounts of gold, but will steer you in the right direction if I can't buy it. NaturalGoldTrader.com has a minimum of 10 grams and pays on average 85% depending on the size of your gold. You just have to email him pics of your gold on a scale for a quote. Vendetta Prospecting has a 5-gram minimum and pays between 82 to 85% and does pay more for larger gold. You can get an estimated quote based on a picture, but a final quote once classified down and weighed to account for larger gold. So the pros of selling to a Paydirt vendor is you will get the most money for your gold and it won't be melted down. The cons, you do have to ship it, so it's not an instant payout. Also, some vendors won't give you a quote until they have the gold in hand. They typically tend to pay more for larger nuggets, but it's only after they classify it down. In the end, unless you need cash immediately, the absolute best place to sell your placer gold is to a Paydirt vendor. No matter which one you choose, you will still get paid more than any of the other options available. Now, I will put a link to all the online buyers below in the first pinned comment, plus any additional information I have about them. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting the subscribe button below.